Hello, this is saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is A Conversation in Jazz, where we are promoting jazz through telling the stories. Our guest today is a veteran upright and electric bassist and educator whose illustrious music career spans over 60 years. Today we are interviewing the wonderful bassist, Mr. Wes Sugah Biles. We ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so we can let you know when we are posting another video or going live. We also ask you to donate to our Cash App in order to support the channel and help us to produce future videos. Our Cash App is $Jazzology 101. That's $Jazzology 101. Enjoy the video. Hi, I'm saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is A Conversation in Jazz. Our guest today is a veteran upright and electric bassist and educator whose illustrious career spans over 60 years. He is currently one of the most in-demand jazz bassists in the Washington D.C. metropolitan area. He has worked and performed with the likes of Ike and Tina Turner, Aretha Franklen, Quincy Jones, Curtis Mayfield, Freda Payne, King Floyd, Ronnie and many more. Please welcome the Sugar Man himself, the wonderful bassist, Mr. Wes Sugah Biles. Wes, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing just fine, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just
Yeah,
fine.
man. Welcome to A Conversation in Jazz.
Well, welcome to getting me up on Saturday morning and get out here to do this.
Yeah, man. Anyway, man, what we do here is we learn the story behind the story.
Okay.
We were just rapping, man, about the South and how you came up and
Culture.
Yeah.
About culture.
And we're going to
man.
get into some of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't recall when we first met, but at some point we was on the same bandstand.
Okay.
And we've been together ever
Ever
since.
since then.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. My first question is, who is Wes Biles?
Oh man, Lord. that may take the whole interview. Well, man, I'm just a dedicated musician to my field.
Yeah.
I have other interests beside music,
Okay.
and but music has ended up being all I want to do. It's so rewarding to have developed the ability to express yourself musically.
No doubt.
And what really proves that to me when I'm performing, working, is I look out at the audience. I'll find me somebody with a little eye contact. And I don't care where you play or perform, you'll find somebody out in the audience can't play a note.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And that just reinforces back to me that what I'm doing has affected so many people, and generally in a very positive way, as opposed to when I may be in church and you got a distinguished minister talking. You don't see people out in the audience mimicking the preacher.
Yeah.
They just sitting there like this. But you always see somebody. And if I go out and ask you, well, man, are you a musician? No, man, I don't play nothing. I can't help it.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Now, when you do something like that people can't help imitate, then
yeah,
you saying something.
No doubt about it.
You saying something.
So after all these years of playing, do you still enjoy music?
And I'm only hesitating so I can really say it truthfully.
Okay.
I can't wait to get up and go do what I do.
Wow.
I can't think of a time, even with playing some gigs that were bad gigs, that I didn't say, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Wow.
I never said, oh, man, I got to go do this. Oh, man.
Yeah. I asked Keita Betts,
my buddy.
I said, man, you still love playing? He said, you better believe it.
It's no question.
Because you look so serious.
Man, and not, and the thing about it is, that word playing,
mm-hmm.
It took me quite a few years to learn it if I wanted to use that word or not.
Playing?
And that's what people refer to what musicians do.
Okay.
I did play when I was in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I worked now.
No doubt about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is not playing.
Yeah.
Even though I understand how it's used.
Uh-huh.
So, to be truthful, do I enjoy working? Now, most people would hesitate with an answer on, I love working.
Mm.
And to the point where I'm so eager to go and do it, I'm ready hours before it's time for me to go work. If a gig starts at 9, I'm 4 o'clock, I'm starting to get my giddy up.
Wow. And you working more than ever now, ain't you?
I wish I could clone me instead of passing some of these gigs off to my other bass player friends. But yes. And that has made this part of my life even so much more enjoyable because I'm not in the bullpen waiting to get called up.
Yeah.
Bring the lefty in.
Yeah.
I'm on the field.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I love it.
How'd you get the name Sugah? I'm gonna have to ask you that.
Oh man, okay. Well, let's spell it right first. It's S-A-G-H.
Oh.
S-A Sugah.
Sugah. Got you.
Then this is everybody kind of wants to know that. I got vocalists that tell the story, so I ain't got to tell it. Honestly, I was playing in with the famous Ronnie Wells and Ron Elliston. They had a vocal jazz camp, and it was a weekly thing. Every week, these vocalists would pay to come take jazz voice training, and they had a paid trio, and I was the bass player in the trio at their home. I did this for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I don't know. One day, this vocalist was playing "Sugar in My Bowl."
The song?
The song. This vocalist was singing or rehearsing "Sugar in My Bowl." And I said, I'll be your sugar in your bowl. To the vocalist. And everybody busted out laughing. Because I just have a way with people, and particularly vocalists. I just take them like this.
Yeah.
And this is an inspired. This is not a professional working vocalist. This is somebody who wants to be more and more involved with it. And Ronnie Wells said, that's your name.
Wow.
Sugah. And I said, don't do that, Ronnie.
She said, that's your name.
Okay, can't you give me like Popeye or Bullfrog or something like that? She said, your name. And from that day on, for the last 25 years,
and it stuck.
It stuck.
Yeah. Wow.
It stuck. So that's how I got it.
Wow.
I didn't break in no lady's house or nothing like that. It was strictly as a comment I made, trying to get this vocalist to ease up.
Yeah.
And that I don't know, but that's why I did that.
Wow.
And I paid for it ever since.
Oh man. A few years ago, man, after the pandemic, I think it was after the pandemic, man. You had let your hair grow out, man. You were looking like Frederick.
That's it. That was my Frederick Douglass look.
Man, my man had the. It was like I said. You had the Frederick Douglass.
I had the Fred. That was what I called it. I didn't cut not one hair,
really,
facial, head of hair, beard, and everybody looked at me. It kind of like turned their head. I said, "Man, that's my Frederick Douglass look."
Yeah.
So and that kind of stuck, and I just had fun with that.
Wow.
And when the pandemic was over, I ran to the barbershop.
You told me. I think you told me this. Are you related to the young gymnast, Olympic gymnast, Simone
There
Biles?
can't be but so many Biles
Yeah.
in this world.
Yeah, so y'all related?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cousins. So
Cousin?
yeah. So
Man, that little girl doing her thing.
she's something else, man.
Well, she's a young lady now.
Yeah, man.
But she's doing her
else.
thing, man.
She's something else, man.
Wow. So
And
she's part of the Biles
yeah,
family.
man.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what we grow.
Beautiful, man.
We grow, man. So
Yeah.
it's a joy just to see all the accomplishments she does every day.
Yeah.
And to hear the name
Yeah.
Biles repeated around the world with joy and excitement.
Yeah.
And I feel as though me being a Biles, I'm adding something to that
No
too.
doubt about it.
I'm
No
adding
doubt
something
about it.
But
man.
it's just it's somebody's out. This is what people usually say. You serious? You? I said, well, she got to be related to somebody.
Yeah. That's what I remember. I said, man, I remember asking that.
I mean, I didn't do nothing to promote nothing.
Yeah.
I do have one of my 5 sons. I do remember that. And this is really something. When he was maybe 12, 13, he was in a camp that was a gymnastic camp. He was the best performer in the whole camp.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering, where did he get that from?
Yeah.
Because I can't do a cartwheel. But he finally went on to other things. But that just brought back his high achievement as a gymnast.
Wow.
And Malcolm, he's my youngest.
Yeah.
So he was something else, man.
Wow. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So where you from, man? Tell the people where you're from.
Look here. I'm from a great southern town, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Born and raised there. And what's so great about being black and in Nashville is that there are several of the most prominent centers of education were right where I live.
Really?
I was born in Meharry Hospital, which is a predominant medical school for training black doctors. I was born there. I went to Fisk University, which is right up. I live 90 steps from Fisk.
Really?
90 steps. And Tennessee State University is down the road.
Wow.
All that educational hub was right where I lived.
Really? Wow.
And all of my cousins, everybody went to Tennessee State but me. Everybody in my family.
Wow.
And everybody went to college. All the cousins went to college.
What was it like coming up when you were coming up? It's probably a little different now. But what was it like?
Nashville
when you were
isn't even anywhere close to the same town I grew up. Nashville was, if I would say to somebody as I would leave Nashville and go to other places, where you from, West? I said, I'm from Nashville. Where? I said, Nashville, Tennessee. 50 years ago. Now, Nashville.
Yeah.
I get lost.
It
has just developed into one of the country western music. Probably had a great impact.
I think
on
I've been
its
there
popularity.
once. Yeah.
Because it's known. Every country western person wants to get to Nashville. Now, as a kid, this is kind of how I got into music. I used to sell newspapers. One of my spots was selling newspapers in front of the original Grand Ole Opry.
Really?
So I used to sell papers to people that was going to the Opry. And they came from all over the world. And this was a small place. It wasn't a Opry land like it is now. And so I would get the entrance from where the artists came in. I would always get back there to see what Minnie Pearl and Earl Scruggs and Lester Flatt and all them cats looked like.
Wow.
Charlie Pride bought a paper for me every Saturday.
Wow.
And man, I would, put my ear to the door. And these mostly string players, guitars, steel guitars, banjos and violins. Wasn't a lot of horn players in the Grand Ole Opry. That was they in the way. If you played horn, that'd be I don't even remember anybody playing a horn on that stage.
Wow.
And I got fascinated with string players because they could play so fast and their articulation was perfect. And and they seemed like they didn't even pay attention to what they was playing.
Yeah, they would.
and so that kind of got my interest. And then when I was
it fun though? I mean, was Nashville fun growing up?
Really, it was.
It was?
It really was.
Okay.
I grew up in a segregated community. I never had a white teacher from elementary school. Let's say I never had a non-black teacher.
Okay.
Even Hispanic.
Wow.
From elementary school through high school.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
So you grew up in during segregation?
Oh, without a doubt.
Wow.
Well, not only was it segregated, if you bought a pair of pants from Sears and Roebuck, you couldn't try them on.
Wow.
If you bought them the wrong size, they're yours.
What, really?
That's right.
Wow. Sears and Roebuck. I've heard that name.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that we thought Sears and Roebucks was.
A lot of people don't know what that is. Are they still around?
Yeah, they are, but it's just Sears now.
Okay, got you.
But it was Sears and Roebuck
Sears
when
and
I grew
Roebuck,
up. We had our own black movies, theaters. I was in high school. I remember it was like the Lord had blessed us. My junior year in high school, they finally segregated the theaters downtown where blacks could go to the theater downtown. But you couldn't go through the front door.
Wow.
You had to go up through the alley and go up the back to the balcony, and blacks could only sit in the balcony. Wow. Now, funny enough, I didn't feel deprived because of that. Because that was the culture. That's how it was. Then they didn't have concessions upstairs in the balcony. The concessions was downstairs, but you couldn't go down there and buy nothing. Wow. So blacks brought their own food.
Gotcha.
All right.
Wow.
And funny enough, whites would come out back to buy the chicken that blacks would come.
Really?
It was amazing.
Wow.
And that's how it was. White folk would buy black folks dinner. Black folk would fix extra stuff to sell to them.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I felt more and more that this ain't right that then the segregation changed.
So how was the black community segregation? How would you compare the black community during segregation when you were coming up and today?
The black community, when I was coming up, as segregated as it was the best spot on the planet to be. Because everybody took care of everybody.
Really?
Everybody. There was always maybe one jackass that was kind of not friendly.
Yeah.
But it was probably only one. And usually that person got straightened out sooner or later. But it was a warm, nurturing environment where your family was not only your protection. The community was your protection. If you was on the bus, and we had to sit in the back of the bus initially, and let's say I'm on the bus and an elderly, an adult came and didn't have a seat, and I didn't get up and give him the seat, and I'm thinking I done got away with it. When I got home, come here, Wes.
Wow.
You didn't give Miss Johnson your seat on the bus.
Wow.
Because somebody on that bus lived where you live.
Wow.
Raised like you were raised. And I learned very early that why not get a compliment for doing right than a slap upside the head for doing wrong. So that's how I was raised. It wasn't, you didn't speak vilely language around older. I don't care.
So what happened? It ain't nowhere like that.
No.
It's like, I mean, you know,
No.
I got a piece of that.
Yeah, well,
coming up.
I got all of that.
Yeah, you respected the adult.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You didn't curse in front of a church.
You did. I tell you, one of my most amazingly frightful moments was I went to Pleasant Green Baptist Church in Nashville, Tennessee. My whole family went there. And they had, I don't know how they worked this out, but families had certain sections that they sit in every Sunday. My family sit over here, my partner Boo's family sit over, and it wasn't designated, that was just happened. And my church bought we call them cold drinks. It depends on where you grow up, whether it's called pop, soda, tonic. In Nashville, a Pepsi, an orange crush, it was a cold drink.
A cold drink, gotcha.
Give me a cold drink. Nobody handed you a cup of water.
Gotcha.
Everybody knew that was some type of bottled beverage, carbonated bottle. So my church got a cold drink vending machine. And we just was so amazed that our church had one. I think sodas were pops, cold drinks were a dime then.
Wow.
And one Sunday I came to church and the police were there. And I'm wondering, did somebody fall out? Well, somebody had broken in the church and robbed the cold drink machine.
Wow.
I just knew whoever this was, they were going to burn in eternal hell. How could they risk doing this?
Yeah. Wow.
That's just how it was. Whereas if that happened anywhere now, they should have had a armed guard over there.
Man.
So that atmosphere I grew up with, as segregated as it was, I didn't grow up fearful because your parents coached you on how to interact or not interact with white folk. It wasn't no step and fetch it thing.
Yeah.
But it was, this is what you do and this is what you don't do.
Gotcha. Wow.
And
so you didn't have any like white friends coming up?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Only because where I lived 90 steps from Fisk.
Wow.
So the faculty lived on my street.
Okay.
There were white faculty on my street.
Okay.
But we didn't go to the same school.
Gotcha.
My best friend, Alan Fusen, his father was the head of the physics department at Fisk.
Wow.
Okay? And they were Quakers. And I remember when I first moved there, he and Julius Hill became my first friends. And I didn't even know how to talk or express myself to him because I was thinking, well, this is a white person you didn't do, but so But he was we were the same age, same size.
Yeah.
Became the best of friends.
Wow.
So one day he says to me, Wes, come on have dinner at our house. And I went, what? Come on, man, come on have dinner with us. Now his family, Dr. Fusen and his wife, Mrs. Fusen, were the nicest, most congenial, but they were Quakers. I didn't know what a Quaker was.
Wow.
And so finally I couldn't take the suspense no more. So I asked their father, Dr. Fusen, what is a Quaker? And he says, I've been waiting for you to ask me that. And they were also referred to as friends. And these were whites who were totally against segregation. They wanted to abolish, they were some of the leaders in abolishing slavery. He had a life's commitment to teach at a black university.
Wow.
This was the head of the physics department. He could have taught anywhere in the world. Incredibly nice cat.
Wow, beautiful.
And so now I said, oh, I got it. Because I couldn't figure out, because my impression of whites, because I didn't grow up and I wasn't taught by them, was, you stay over there and I stay over here.
Gotcha.
And we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
You come over here, we got a problem.
Gotcha.
If I come over there, then I got a problem.
Yeah, gotcha.
And he dispelled that.
Wow.
That family did. And there were several other white families that taught at Fisk. Now I go to Fisk, and now I'm going to get my first white teacher. I like to die.
Wow.
Were they going to be fair to me? Were they going to not recognize my talents? Were they going? And that, coming from the South, was a hell of an experience for me to finally cross over into this other racial avenue.
Wow.
And also be taught, because a majority of the teachers at Fisk were white.
Wow. Beautiful, man. That's some history people need to know, man.
And I lived right on my street. Anna Bontem's, the greatest novelist in the world, lived on the corner. Julian Bond taught there.
Really?
Lived on my street.
Really? Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Wow.
Incredible, man. It was.
And also, the great saxophonist Andrew White is he grew up in Nashville. Did you know of Andrew?
He lived 3 blocks from me.
Get out of here, man.
Andrew White.
You knew, so you saw Andrew coming out?
I was a kid. He's much older. I saw him playing in Tennessee State.
Really?
With what's the guy at UDC?
Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Hank Crawford. Hank Crawford was in the band at Tennessee State. I used to go see them play.
Really?
Ray Charles came through town and stole him out of college.
Wow.
But Hank was an alto player. And they already had Fathead in the group.
Yeah.
So Hank played baritone.
Wow.
Just so he could be in the band.
Wow.
Andy Gertridge, my first teacher, Tennessee State alto player, went on to be so renowned.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Taught at University of Maryland, then went on and taught at Michigan, got his PhD. I just did a memorial service for Andy Gertridge's wife, who passed about a month ago. His daughter called me and said, "Wes, you got to play for Mama's funeral." I said, that was my first band teacher.
Wow.
Andy Gertridge.
Wow. That's crazy, man. Wow. But you saw, would you see Andrew? Was he like popular in?
He was the king.
Really? In Nashville?
Everybody tried to emulate him.
Wow.
He was the king. And they had park concerts on Sundays in Nashville at black parks now. Everything was over here, over there. But they had park concerts. And the band teachers formed the band for the park concert, playing jazz.
Wow.
Now, when I was in high school, Pra Gunner was the high school band director. Went to Tuskegee, was a clarinetist, strictly classical. If he caught you playing one blue note,
you in trouble.
You in trouble.
Yeah.
Nothing but classical music.
Wow.
But I loved it. I loved it. But wasn't no jazz band in my high school. No, man.
Really?
He won't have that devil music in it.
So do you come from a musical family?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. My older brother, we were there and said there's 4 of us. My older brother, next to me, was a trumpet player in high school. We both played together. But the biggest, how do I want to call it, shock of my life was my mother, Miss Clara. One Sunday, piano player in church fell on the bench and fell off the floor on the floor. And we went, "Oh Lord, what we gonna do?" This is at the beginning of church. And they, ambulance came and got her. Now we also knew, since that held church up for a half hour, it was gonna be extended for another half hour. Okay. They got her out. And we all sitting in our little family section. My mother stood up, walked up on the pulpit, got behind the piano, and played the whole service.
Wow.
Didn't read a note. I didn't know she could even touch a pen. Never heard her play again after that.
Wow. Wow. Did you ever ask her about that?
Yeah. She just said, go on, boy. The Lord.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't going to go nowhere.
Yeah,
I was going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
Go on, boy. The Lord, you know.
So what kind of music were you listening to coming up?
Well, in Nashville, you had no choice if you were going to listen to music on TV, country and western.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a black R&B station,
Okay.
W something something something,
Okay.
that played soul music, R&B music.
Gotcha.
Man,
You couldn't play that in the house though?
Oh, it was okay in my house.
Okay.
You couldn't play it at school.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I formed a little band
Uh-huh.
in high school.
Uh-huh.
And that pissed the band director off.
Wow.
He didn't like that. Because, he didn't want you to get away from what he was teaching.
Wow.
But he couldn't say too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because my band was playing for all the proms and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And we just didn't wave it in his face.
Gotcha.
Couldn't practice in school.
Gotcha.
We practiced in somebody's garage. And I had a little band and we played. Yeah, we played all
Were
over.
you to country and western? Were you into that?
Yes.
You enjoyed it?
Yes.
Wow.
Because they could play.
Yeah.
I mean, they wasn't playing Train
Yeah.
and and Yardbird. They weren't.
Yeah.
But what they were playing was absolutely amazing.
Wow. Yeah. No
They
doubt
can play,
about it.
man.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
They can play. Wasn't no horns though. They can play.
Yeah, man. What was your first musical instrument?
First musical instrument was drums.
The drums?
I started out Andy Goodrich's. I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade.
So Andy Goodrich was your first,
Very first teacher.
and you studied formally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a band
Okay.
in elementary school. Now, here's how this thing worked with him. He was called a rover. There were probably 6 elementary schools, black elementary schools. He went one day a week to
All the different schools.
all different schools. And one day he had to go to 2. And he would have an hour rehearsal. And he would do it. Now, I'm sorry, he went 3 days a week. That's right. To get them all in. And that's where I started. And I told him I want to play drums. My brother played trumpet. And I want to play drums. And he said, okay, well, you got to take a music test. I didn't know nothing about drums. I just would beat on stuff, pots and pans around the house all the time. And he said, take a test. He said, yeah. So he went to the piano. He said, tell me which note is higher or lower. He go, ding, ding. And I'd have to say which one was higher or lower. And I got 10 out of 10 right. He said, let me just test you one more time. He played a high C and he played a low C. He said, tell me which one is higher or lower. And I said, it's the same note. He said, you in. It's just an octave difference. And I don't. From that, I became his pet.
So he started you out on drums?
Yes.
Wow.
I played drums up until about.
So you can still play drums?
Yes.
Okay.
I played drums up until maybe the 8th grade in high school. But in the next year, I wanted to play. I was fascinated, so I took violin. There was a different teacher, Robert Holmes. And he was a rover too. He taught strings. And I took violin. Now, I was in hog heaven when I started playing violin.
Really?
Because I was playing a melodic instrument.
Gotcha.
And I really had a little thing about me. It's really hard to admit this, but I thought being a young black boy playing violin, that was special.
Gotcha.
Everybody can't play violin. And I thought I was hot.
Playing violin?
Playing violin. And I got in the orchestra, playing first violin, and you couldn't tell me nothing playing. I kept on playing drums.
Music came easy for you?
Yes.
Really?
In the 5th grade, Andy Goodrich looked at me and saw some achievements, said, okay, that's it. You're going to play alto.
Alto?
Alto.
As an alto saxophone?
Alto saxophone. The school he had gotten a brand new alto. And And he said, "You gonna play it."
Wow.
I said, "Give it to me."
You said, "Give it to me."
Give it to me. And after school, he would give me private lessons. Mm-hmm. And I loved hearing him play. His tone was just almost...
He was a saxophone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alto.
Yeah.
He played alto. Went to Tennessee State. And he had a white mouthpiece. Now, you couldn't have told me nothing, boy. A white mouthpiece was so impressive. Uh-huh. And he was just a gorgeous player. Mm-hmm. So he gave me... I'd stay after school, and he taught me alto. I played alto up until the 8th grade.
Wow.
Now, I love these instruments.
Yeah.
And in the 8th grade, somebody, again, we had band boosters. Mm-hmm. People's parents and people who graduated and were in the band 100 years ago would donate money and different things. Mm-hmm. Somebody donated a string bass to my junior high school. Wow. Now, I'm playing violin in the orchestra. Uh-huh. Concert master. You couldn't tell me nothing. And so Don Q. Pullen was my junior high school band teacher and orchestra. Mm-hmm. So one day, he looking at me and he says, Wesley, they don't nobody call me Wes then. Wesley, that's right. I got that name after that. I got this string bass that whatever the booster's name was. And this is in the fall. Mm-hmm. And he comes to the concert every year. And I got to have somebody playing this when he comes to the concert, else he won't donate and give us anything else. I said, well, you got a problem.
You said you got a problem?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you had to find somebody to play that. Because I'm not giving up first chair violin for that. And he said, oh, okay, I'll talk to you later. So after about a month, every day he would hint to me about, and it was in the band room, in the equipment room, every day. Didn't have no case on it, just a plywood bass. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm serious about this, man. So I got to get somebody to play this instrument. I think you would love it. I said, we had this conversation. And the other reason I didn't want to give it up was the person, the violinist of Sandra Harris, who sat next to me. She wanted me to get out of the
so she could move up.
So she could move up to the first chair. And that male chauvinist. I wasn't gonna I ain't gonna let her get nothing. So man, finally, I mean, we had this conversation 20 times. So around December, he said, come here. And he had a kind of little attitude. I said, oh, Lord. He said, let me tell you something about this instrument. In any given city, there's 100, 200, 500 violinists. Might only be 3 bass players. And you can make money. I said, yeah.
They got your attention.
I said, yeah. He says, take this instrument. This is my training on upright. Uh-huh. He gave me a beginning book. Every day we take all the equipment out of the equipment room, and that left it empty. He said, go back in there, and when you're ready to come join the orchestra, you come out and let me know. Wow. I woodshed it for 3 months.
Were you enjoying it?
I was loving it.
Wow.
But it was killing my hands.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
You know, plus I'm in the 8th grade and I'm not very tall. Uh-huh. And the other problem was carrying the instrument.
Yeah.
So my dad got me a red wagon. I rode the bass home.
On the wagon?
Tied it with a rope. So I could practice at home. So one day, they in there practicing. I came out. I said, I'm ready. He said, go on back now.
Wow.
That's how I got on string bass.
Wow.
He said the magic word to me.
But now, did you, at a certain point, did you know, okay, this is what I want to do the rest of my life?
Yes.
You knew you was going to play?
Yes.
Okay.
As
From
a
an early
matter
age?
of fact, the first gig I had on bass.
You remember the first gig you had?
Yeah, because it was with Don Q. Pullen's band. He had a trio that played in the Holiday Inn. Bass player got drunk one night. He called my mama and said, Miss Clara, I know you ain't going to let him do this, but I just got to have somebody holding the bass so we don't lose the gig.
Yeah.
But the rule was, and I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, if you were a young musician underage, playing in a lounge or where they sold alcohol, on the break, you had to go outside.
Gotcha. You
couldn't sit in that. So I had to go out in the lobby and sit on the breaks. So the first night, I don't know no tunes.
Wow.
I don't know nothing. And he says to me, well, we just going to play some blues. I said, yeah? Okay. And he said to me, well, we just going to play 1, 4, 5 changes in a couple of different keys. Now, I knew what he was talking about, but I had never done it before.
So you didn't know about walking and all that stuff? So what'd you do?
The best I could. I made $15.
Wow.
You know how much money that was?
Wow.
To a kid in 9th grade in what was that? Maybe, see, I finished high school in 67. 1961 or 62.
Wow. He gave you $15.
$15. And I didn't even know how to play.
Wow. So that was some motivation for you, wasn't it?
What he told me is true.
Yeah. Wow.
It might be 500 violinists, and you be on call.
Wow. So now you started with upright bass.
That's right. No, I didn't play electric till high school.
Okay. Now was there some similarities when you went to electric? How'd you get to the electric?
I started playing in a band, in an R&B band.
Wow.
See, my first studio gig was playing behind these singers. I played on upright. But when I got more involved with it, electric bass became popular. Gotcha. See, people don't know electric bass hasn't been around that long.
Wow, gotcha.
The first recording, I think it was Wes Montgomery's brother played the first recording of electric bass.
Yeah, prior to that, it was just
He played all the songs were on upright.
Wow,
gotcha. And the K bass was the bass to play because it had that. It didn't have such a classical sound.
Gotcha.
It had a thump thump to it. All right. So K basses they couldn't make enough of them.
Wow. So
in 10th grade, I saved my little money, went to the pawn shop, and bought me an electric bass. Didn't have no amp.
Really?
So I could play it, but I couldn't hear it.
Where'd you go to high school?
Pearl Senior High School in Nashville, Tennessee.
Pearl Senior High School?
Pearl Senior High.
Wow, man, that's something, man.
Yeah, man. So that's how I got to electric bass. My brother was in the band. We had a guitarist. Keyboards wasn't really popular back then because they were too big to carry around, and they hadn't porterized them much. It was still who's gonna carry a.
Now, were you influenced by any particular bassist? Like, was there a bassist that really
they even one, Jimmy Jamison.
Jimmy Jamison?
That's right, for Motown.
Gotcha.
He was a Motown bass player.
Okay.
He set the mark for playing electric bass in R&B. Plus, he was an upright player.
Okay.
And here's what really influenced me. These cats could read. See, people think of bass and tuba as oompa, oompa, oompa. And this cat didn't play no oompa on bass. He was melodic. His patterns were so well thought out. And the first thing that I noticed about him in some of the Motown recordings was at the same spot in every song, he played exactly the same pattern.
Okay.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I said, man, did you hear that consistency? Oh, man, that was it for me.
You ever get to meet him?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, is there a person on upright that
Oh, man, that was... The upright players are... And see, these are totally two different instruments.
Yeah.
It's not just basses.
Yeah.
It's a bass violin. And it's an electric bass guitar.
Gotcha.
they ain't like this.
Yeah.
They like this.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. Probably Ray Brown was probably my first real influence.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just his playing. It was when I saw him in the Johnny Carson Tonight Show band as the first black musician ever to be in that band.
Wow.
I said, that's what I want to do.
Wow. So you giving us some history here.
Ray Brown.
Ray Brown.
Ray Brown.
Wow, man.
And he was, this is even before he married Ella Fitzgerald. He was, yes, sir, that was, he married Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah. Ray Brown.
See, we got to ask y'all. That's why we do this, man. We getting all this history.
Ray Brown. And then I went on to just, astronomical bass players. The cats that really, oh man, just set the tone for playing bass. But bass playing, there was a different approach to bass playing then. Mm-hmm. I think the two instruments that I think have been revolutionized the most or changed the most to me are bass playing and drumming.
And drumming?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Bass playing was doom, 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 doom. And if you didn't do that, you didn't get hired.
Gotcha.
And drumming was doom, chak, doom, chak, doom, chak. Now drummers got about 87 drums, 10 cymbals.
Yeah.
And they are not just drummers. They are well-trained musicians.
No doubt. Yeah. So you learned how to read and the whole nine.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's made me a little bit more selective.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
The cats that could outplay me, but they couldn't read.
Yeah.
I mean, they could zoom.
Yeah.
But they didn't know where A flat was.
Yeah.
So that just even further enhanced my commitment that this is really what I want to do.
Gotcha.
And I got some early training.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to apply myself and study. And it just paid off, man.
Do you remember when you... Now, did you grow up listening to jazz, or was it... No?
No.
Do you remember when you first heard jazz?
Yes, I remember when I first started listening to jazz.
Okay.
Because I was being hired in most of the groups that I'm playing with to play R&B.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I listened to, because that was paying me.
Gotcha.
But I always had an ear for jazz because it was mostly upright.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this other little story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Fisk. I think I was a sophomore. I'm walking to the Student Union, which is where you had your lunch. And you pass the Student Union, there's a chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So as I'm approaching it, these 4 black guys were walking, and they kind of caught up with me, or I caught up with them. And one of them said to me, you know who I am? In college, Afro. And I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Do you know who I am, sir? And I said, no. He says, look, you take a good look at me. And I said, no. He said, well, you know anything about music? This is what I said. Yeah, I'm a musician. He says, well, if you're a musician, you should show us where the chapel is, because we're going to play a concert. And it's free. And we're going to play some jazz. Mm-hmm. I said, well, I'm kind of... He said, I thought you said you was a musician. And I said, I am. I'm a bass player. I play bass, is what I said. He says, well, I play bass. And I said, who is this silly dude? So I showed him where the chapel was. And the other cats in the band said something to me about how did I like Fisk, And when I went on to eat my lunch. And I was just about to get in line. I said, man, let me go back over here and see who these cats are. And I get in the chapel, and the person in the announcement said, students, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Charles Mingus's band. I said, oh my.
Wow. Are you serious?
I did not know him by sight.
Wow. Dang, man.
And I'm sitting down, there wasn't that many people there. It was.
Was he a big guy? Like a
he was husky, you know. He and he's playing his bass, and the strings is that high up off the and it wasn't that many people in there. Maybe 50 students. So I'm sitting, and he says, I just want y'all to know, see that guy right there?
Oh, he called you out?
You see that bass player right there?
Oh, wow.
He says, he showed us where the chapel was, and I'm forever grateful to him.
Wow. That is something, man. That is something. Wow.
I didn't go to lunch after that.
So you knew of Charles Mingus prior to that?
I knew of him.
Yeah, got you.
But I had no idea. Not only what he looked like, I didn't really know his music. I just knew he was a famous jazz player.
Wow. Dang, man. What a story.
And he just said, you don't know me?
Wow.
Yeah.
The great Charles Mingus.
That's right.
And I was flipping, because, you know, I'm a bird cat.
I know.
Oh, man, I'd have been asking questions about birds.
Look here. But I'm still in awe.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm embarrassed. Don't think I wasn't embarrassed.
Wow. That is something, man.
But, man, and that taught me, okay, I'm going to do something about this lack of education I have about jazz. I ain't going to get caught like this no more.
Yeah.
Even if I got to call the wrong name out. I couldn't even think of a name.
Wow.
Except Louis Armstrong. And I didn't know, you know.
So was jazz in Nashville? Was jazz?
No.
It wasn't. Okay.
No.
Now, Memphis.
Okay. Totally opposite.
Yeah. You ever been to Memphis?
Sure.
You used to go to Memphis then?
Yes, sir, to work.
Really?
Yeah, Memphis. Andy Goodrich is from Memphis.
Okay.
My teacher.
Yeah.
He's from Memphis.
Yeah, because they had a lot of cats come out of Memphis.
They had a lot of cats come out of Memphis. You know our friend Herb Smith?
Yes. Yeah, I interviewed him. Yeah.
Andy Goodrich was his mentor.
Wow.
Andy was about 10 years older than him. He was the guy that Herb Smith, the saxophonist, taught at Howard. Herb would sit up like a kid watching Andy Goodrich play.
Wow. Yeah.
The Memphis cats, but jazz, I can't even think of an establishment in Nashville when I was growing up where jazz was played.
Wow.
Not one. Plenty blues and, not plenty, several blues and R&B places. And there was a couple of show places where artists came, and I got a chance to play with whoever came. OJ's didn't even have a record out, and I played their show at Club Era.
Wow.
They just was another little singing group.
Really? Wow.
They didn't even have a record deal. But they packed the place. And all those kind of groups came in, but that was all electric bass. And
so how far was Memphis from Nashville?
200 miles exactly.
Okay.
Really, 199 to be exact.
Okay.
So it's a good 4-hour drive.
Yeah. So you would frequent?
Yeah, I would work there
and do gigs. Wow.
Yeah, do gigs.
So you was a working cat, huh?
Man, and I had the best time.
Really?
And see, playing bass is cool. And I was a sort of a quiet. I really am a quiet, introverted person. But playing bass, you know, that was cool.
Now, was the girls into the music?
Man, look here. Man, look here. You either play, you was play sports, or you played in a band.
Wow,
in a band.
Gotcha.
And I was playing in clubs with much older women around. I'm going crazy just looking at it. Just looking at it.
Yeah.
And you were appreciated. You were appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, they had a connection that Friday and Saturdays, and then people went to church on Sundays. and I go to church and see some of the same people in the club last night. And they do like this. Man, that was fun.
What happens in the club?
Man,
stay in the club.
Stay in the club. Stay in the club, man.
So you know, every city has their cats. Like when you go to that city, it's the cat.
Yeah.
Did y'all have those kind of?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no question. It was, and a lot of the real cats in Nashville playing in the spots were music teachers.
Gotcha.
They was because most of all them went to Tennessee State. And they came out ready to go. But they also taught music. They were the teachers in the black schools.
Wow.
I can name them forever and ever. Man.
Any of those guys still around?
No, I don't think. No. Cause see,
you ain't got no buddies that you still.
Oh yeah, I have some friends, but a lot of the teachers.
Yeah.
When we think about it now, I'm 75.
Yeah. I mean, some of your peers that you would play.
Yes.
Okay. Some of them still.
Yeah. Not many.
Yeah.
Not many.
You talk to them?
One of them called me the other day out of the clear blue sky.
Get out of here.
And said, Wes, I got your number from somebody who saw you the last time I was in Nashville about a month ago. And saw you, and I wish I had a chance to. The cat played drums, and then he went on, and also piano. And man, he and I talked for 2 hours.
Really? Wow.
And he's my same age, and he was telling me who ain't still around, and a couple of cats that are.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, that was probably one of my best days of the whole summer.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I thought he wasn't even still here.
Yeah.
And he's still playing.
Still playing?
Still playing.
Oh, wow.
Still working.
Man.
Still working, man.
Yeah, man. Now, you told me a story about a cat trying to get his money.
Oh Lord. You talking about Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, but I forgot I told you that. This is one of my lifelong lessons. We playing, I can't think of it. What was the name of this club? Do Right Club or something like that. They all had them kind of names. We were the house band. 3 nights a week. I had this gig for about 2 years. Paid $20 a night.
Wow.
Big money. And it was me, a drummer, guitarist, sax player. And they had this singer that came with the gig. He wasn't in our band.
Gotcha.
But if you got this gig, he was going to be the singer.
Gotcha.
He came with the club.
Gotcha.
Sang about 3 songs, the same 3 songs every night. And they loved it. So one night, we got there, setting up and the club owner walks up to the stage and says, y'all pack up. This y'all's last night was y'all's last night. And somebody in the band said, what's up? He said, I ain't playing. I got somebody that I'm paying $10 a night. So y'all get out of here.
Wow.
So I'm the youngest. The next age cat to me in the band was probably 40, 45.
Wow.
I'm 18. And I says, what you mean? We ain't got, what you mean? And so the club owner kind of ignored me, but he looked at me. And he went on to say, okay, I'm by the time I come back, y'all be gone. So he's not quite, so I'm getting ready to stand up. So this guy, Minnesota, 60 years old, I played alto, put his hand on me like this. Sit your little ass down. He said, sit your little ass down, boy. And I said, he said, also shut up. Now, Minnesota, alto player, played in the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey band for 45 years.
Really? Wow.
And when they start playing, they don't stop until the circus show is over.
Woo.
3 shows a day.
Wow. I don't want that gig.
But he was a teacher to me. He taught me a whole lot. But that was the best lesson he ever taught. And this is what he said. He said, I said, man, he can't do that. He went on to tell me that he came out of Ringling Brothers, 45 years alto player, one of the few blacks that ever played in that band.
So this is after he did that?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
gotcha.
Yes. And this is why he was in that play. He said, we were in Sweden. The ringleader was talking to the band conductor, and they were looking at me. And I'm going, this is what he said. They looking at me, and I'm wondering why they looking at me. So when the ringleader walked away, the band conductor, who was a trumpet player, walked over him and said, this your last night.
Wow.
They in Sweden.
Wow.
And he says, here's the lesson. I have never played a gig that didn't end. I have never forgot that.
I've never played a gig
that did not end.
Wow.
I don't care how good it was. I don't care how bad it was.
Wow.
I have never played a gig. That's how I'm in this band with y'all.
That's how, you know, Munir was telling me a story about Horace Silver. And so Horace, you know, Horace is a leader.
Yeah, yeah.
So he said, I don't know, it was a trumpet player, somebody was asking him, hey man, can you, so he was telling the leader.
Yeah.
Hey man, can you play a little less or whatever?
While I'm here.
So Horace said, I guess that's it then.
Man.
So that, you never met a gig that did not end.
I have never had a gig. Played a gig.
Wow.
I don't care how good it was. And look at the things I have done. Every one of them gigs, sooner or later, ended.
Yep.
He said, you won't get, and he was real quiet spoken. He wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
He said, and he's saying this kind of low, so I'm straining to hear what he's saying. He said, you won't get to the next gig until this gig ends. If you stay here forever, you'll never. And the next gig might be what you've been wishing for all your life.
Wow. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, did you come up like with the gangsters owned the clubs and all that kind of stuff?
Without a doubt.
Wow.
So the other part of this story is when the club owner, I forgot his name, Big Willie or Stackhouse or whatever his name was. He's a big dude. He walks away from us, and we looking at his back. He ain't turning around looking at us. He had 2 pistols stuck down in his pants.
Ooh.
And I said, thank you, man.
We good.
You my man.
Oh, Lord, that's
and
funny.
We packed up, and when we were going out, the other band was coming in.
Wow.
We had been there 2 years. Now, I thought I was owed something.
Yeah.
Not only was I a decent player, I'm there on time. I ain't creating no problems.
That's funny. Yeah.
And he said, this y'all last night. Y'all's last night.
You followed all the rules.
I thought this was, and man, I straightened up my thinking that has led me from that day on to this day about this business.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is a joint, man. This is one way in and one way out.
You know, man, we all start off a little cocky.
You think that's a good subject to bring up. Because the thing I have noticed about some of the young musicians, younger than me, that they have brought cockiness to the arena more than people my age and my era.
Yeah.
Not only were we more humble, it worked against you. Now it can work for you.
Yeah.
It may not make you the most liked cat on the stage. And that's a big difference for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I teach.
Yeah.
I teach. And I see these little young cats,
Yeah.
they can play.
Yeah.
It ain't like they can't play.
Yeah.
I teach a jazz camp for the last 24, 23 years.
Yeah. You know, you get your wake-up call. Every somewhere along there, you get your wake-up call.
And man, with every morning that I start my classes, we don't start out playing. We start out talking about how this business is.
Gotcha.
What you can do to improve your status. Because the best player is not always the cat that get the gig.
No doubt.
He home watching football games.
Yeah. 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 I know I went to high school with a cat. You ever heard this cat named Questlove?
Yeah.
Man, in high school, he was so unassuming. You know, I mean, he was just in the background. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And I went to school with Christian McBride.
Yeah, I know.
And Joey.
And McBride, yeah.
But this cat, Questlove, was like, you didn't, he was quiet.
Unassuming.
Yeah. And, you know, and next thing you know, man, I'm in college now because he was a couple years behind me. And this cat with the root, they just blow up. And now it's, you know, you're like, wow. And you think you the cat.
You think you the ace in the deck.
Yeah. And you say, oh.
You think you the ace, and not only you the black ace in the deck. And you present that.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And cats like him, and another quick story like that. We playing in Selma, Alabama. I'm playing with Natural 4 singing group. They got all kind of lime greens and purple and yellow suits on with pink shoes, and they twirling and crowd going crazy. And after the gig, somebody said to the band, "Man, I'm going over to the Greasy Spoon. They got a nice little band over there."
The Greasy Spoon?
Yeah, that's the name. The Greasy Spoon Club. And they got a nice little banner. Y'all want to ride over and hear them cats? Now I'm saying, what? I'm playing with Natural 4 myself, right? I said, okay, let's go. Let's go. He talked us into it. This is the band members, not the singers. Now, we went over this spot, and we get in there, and they sound, they playing R&B. They sound good. Finally, I get around to check the bass player out. Now, this cat had a bass, and he had a necktie for his strap. Didn't have no guitar strap. A colorful flower
necktie
holding tied to his bass.
Wow.
And I ain't never heard nobody play like that in my life.
Wow. Really?
Boots on, coveralls, and a necktie.
Wow.
I couldn't wait to go talk to him. And I forgot what his name was. And I said, man, God. He said, man, I just pick it up and I just play it. Real country, I picks it up and I just plays it. I said, man, what do you do? This is all you do. He said, oh, no, man, I got a day gig. I work at Purina Dog Chow, stuffing dog food in bags. He said he'd been doing that for 30 years.
Wow.
And he was maybe 50.
Wow.
Playing
is behind him.
Man. And this is what he said to me. Man, you want to play? Are you crazy? Do I want to play?
Wow. Yeah.
You would never know.
Well, they say you back in them days, man, you'll have a cat, they have a horn and a paper bag, man, and something like that.
He didn't have no case for the bass.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, he had to make do.
Man. And every song, he was killing it.
Wow.
He said, man, yes, I was coming here and play with the boys. I'm going, Lord have mercy. Yeah, man. And I hear y'all down at the Coliseum. Boy, I wish I could play that one time.
Wow.
And I said, man, I'm glad you they can't play that. Wow. And it just sets a tone for understanding so much more about how wide this thing we do is.
Yeah.
And everybody that's on a good buddy of mine, man. said, it's not about the size of the stage. Every stage is a big stage.
Yeah.
It's what's in your heart when you play.
Doubt. No doubt. Yeah.
And you can wish for MTV and the Grammys Award and Johnny Carson Band, and if you want to. But if you ain't prepared for where you playing right now, you ain't gonna last.
That's right.
Every stage is a big stage.
No doubt. That's a gem right there. Every stage is a big stage.
Every stage is a big stage.
Yeah.
If you don't have that understanding, then you ain't bringing what you're supposed to bring to the gig.
No doubt.
Yeah. Because I'm playing, and I've met so many cats that are aggravated and because they're not playing over there.
Yeah.
And he is.
Yeah. You know, man, I'm thankful for every little thing I get, man.
And see, it's another thing I've been through with certain cats that you get a gig, and the cat that didn't get a gig said, "Man, I heard you play the other night. No. Why didn't they call me?" Man, I should.
Some cats, they take that personal.
They take it personal, man.
Yeah, man.
They take it personal, and they don't understand what I have learned to love to understand. Be thankful for the gigs you did get, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
And don't think just because you ain't there that lessens where you are. Because when you get your next gig, ain't no such thing as no little stage, man. No now it gets back to the cat that didn't hire you, that you mad because he didn't hire you. That he ain't gonna never call you.
Wow, no doubt. No doubt. Wow. Yeah, man, you dropping that wisdom.
Man, look,
dropping that wisdom, man.
It's good, man.
So I want to know, what made you choose Fisk? I know you said it.
Yeah.
What made you choose Fisk?
Because it was right there. Not only was it right there, see, I grew up in that community. So as a youngster, I was cutting grass and doing house chores for faculty members. And I had a cousin who worked at Fisk as an administrator in the registrar's office.
Okay.
She and she was much older. All of my other cousins went to Tennessee State. She had made up in her mind, somebody in this family gonna go to Fisk.
Okay.
So she started talking to me. She didn't have to talk to me because I had already made up my mind that's where I wanted to go. Fisk was a higher academic requirement school. I was worried, could I get in? She said, "Don't worry, I got that."
She said, "I got that." Gotcha.
And she paved the way for my interest to accept that I could get in.
Gotcha. Now, what was your major? Was you majoring in music?
Nope. All of my degrees are in economics.
Is into
economics?
Really?
That's right. When I went to Fisk, I didn't declare a major because I didn't know what I wanted to major in. They had a great music department, but it was basically classical. And it wasn't instrumental. It was piano, voice.
The Fisk Jubilee Singers?
Yes.
They were there?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I had several good friends that sang in that group.
Wow.
That made that group. So it was vocal and piano and organ. They had the big giant pipe organ. And if you majored in music, that's what you came there for. Bobby Felder went to Fisk University.
Yeah, okay, yep.
All right?
Yeah.
But he was basically piano, not trombone.
Did you know Bobby from there?
No, Bobby's 30 years older than me.
Oh, wow, okay.
Bobby Felder went to Fisk. And that was what kind of drew us together.
Gotcha.
We found out that both of us went to Fisk. And so I didn't declare a major. So come sophomore year, you kind of gotta have to declare a major because you're just taking electives anyway. So I had a choice. I could take anthropology, religion, or economics. I didn't want to take any more religion because I've been in church all my life. Anthropology just seemed have no interest to me at all. And economics, I really didn't know what that was. So I said, that's what I'm going to take.
Okay.
So I could find out what that was. I had an idea, but I really didn't know what the science of economics was. My first class, at the semester break, I had a D average in the class.
Wow. A D?
A D average. The first class, Economics 101. At the midterm, I had a D average, so I had another half a semester. Teacher called me over and said, "You sure you want to stay in this class? You got 2 or 3 days till you can withdraw." And I said, nah. So I found an upperclassman. He was a senior in econ. And I went to him and said, "Man, this is killing me." He said, "Let me help you." He did. I finished the course with an A. And I said, this is what I like doing.
Wow.
And this particular person happened to be my, later on, fraternity brother.
Wow.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay.
He helped me survive, and that's why I'm an Alpha today.
Really?
That's right.
Did you pledge at Fisk?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I pledged right at Fisk.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you pledged.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, when you pledged.
Wow. That's
and I, on my street, a lot of the frats would practice their stepping on my street.
Wow.
So I grew up seeing this from junior high school. And they would practice right on my street. Yeah. And I said, man, one day, oh man, that's cool. You know. And I didn't know which one I wanted to be, but when this guy helped me pass that course, I said, that's for me.
Wow. Did you like economics?
Man, that's my life. I am it.
Really? So you still into economics?
Yes. I have all of my degrees in economics.
Oh, wow.
I never majored in music.
I thought you were just a bass player, man.
I am also.
Yeah.
And I was economist in the district government for 25 years.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, you know about the money.
Man, that's what, like I told you, when my teacher told me, bass players make money, and that had such a ring to what I was about. And I went on to major in economics.
Wow. That's up.
Hey, man.
I also read that you played varsity baseball.
Man, look, heck yeah.
And you were a pitcher?
I was a pitcher.
And a captain?
And a captain.
So you were good.
I played baseball all the way from 6th grade through high school through college.
Wow.
My dad played baseball, Negro League, Army, baseball player.
So the Negro Leagues, right? Was that a popular thing?
Yes. It was the avenue for black people in the South to see sports. Wow. And they were
What was it like going to the Negro Leagues as opposed to the
it was 10 times more exciting.
Really?
Without a doubt. I mean, they had players that eventually ended up in the major leagues. But black people couldn't go to those games in the South. Ain't no such thing as they're going to let you sit next to them out there. And the whole teams were white in the National League, in the National Baseball League. So blacks had their own baseball. And they went around playing, oh man,
Did a lot of people come out?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. That stadium was one as big as Major League Baseball. But they were crowded like...
Were there barbecue?
Man, they did everything. You could get the best chitlin dinner in the world at a baseball game. Wasn't no hot dogs. That's junk food.
Wow, man.
You could get the best
Do you miss that? Do you miss that?
That culture. I'm going to keep saying what it is.
It's the culture.
It's a culture. All right? It's a Southern culture that's comfortable. It had to be, or else black people wouldn't have made it. Wow. If we were made to be fearful, had no outlets, had no entertainment, had no clubs, had no churches, we wouldn't have made it.
Yeah. See, back in them days, you could be famous just being in the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
One of the most trusted popular, admired person in the community was the numbers man.
The numbers man?
The numbers man.
Wow.
Not only was, and this when the movies portrayed this as gangsterism, well, that wasn't black folk. That was a business.
Gotcha.
And the numbers man, let's say you couldn't pay your rent.
Mm-hmm.
He'd throw you something.
He throw you something?
That's right. Your family.
Mm.
Let's say your daddy got sick, couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers man would bring your family a box of groceries every week.
Wow.
Now, he was a good person, but he was a businessman.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He got it all back tenfold, and he was positive for them. Now, it evolved into some other kind of uncontrollable crap, because the money got to be the issue, and not the community. Mm-hmm. But the numbers man was, his seat was up front in the church. He didn't sit in no back.
In the church?
In the church.
Oh, wow. That's something, man.
The minister ain't stupid.
Yeah.
Look what he gonna put in the plate. There wasn't all that judgmental crap.
Oh, man.
It was about culture.
Mm-hmm. You still have a passion for baseball?
Man, I shoot you.
Yeah, I go to
NASCAR. I've been going to baseball whenever I play somewhere. Out of time. Man, I've been to every state that you can think. But my high school team, I'm so proud of this. Mm-hmm. My high school team, the shortstop on my high school team at Pearl High School was a guy named Charles Jeter. Mm-hmm. My college team, when I got to college, I didn't know, and we were best of friends. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he was going to Fisk, and he didn't know I was going to Fisk. I saw him in the freshman line. I said, and I knew I was going to play baseball. Uh-huh. Man, we got it made now because he's going to be playing baseball. And we hug each other.
Really?
Charles Jeter. Now, Fisk had a great baseball team when I was in. We went to the baseball World Series and just did great. He had a championship team. Wow. Charles Jeter was the shortstop on my college team also.
Wow.
Charles Jeter is the father of Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees.
Wow. That's something.
Whenever they come to town, and Charles would come, play Baltimore, the Orioles. Uh-huh.
Really?
My man.
Man, that's cool.
Wow. Do I still love baseball? Now, I have one of my sons, one of my 5 sons, went to University of Maine, baseball scholarship.
Wow.
Just got inducted to the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And he's a baseball coach, high school team out in Virginia.
Really?
It's in the blood, man.
Yeah.
Wow. He played baseball.
Wow.
I'm a baseball.
Wow.
Folks just can't see me as a...
Yeah.
Wow. And I was a pitcher.
You was a pitcher?
I was a pitcher. Throughout high school, junior high school.
Man, your arm, remember? How you going to pitch and play base?
I think that helped me.
Really?
Because I had, strengthened my arms.
Gotcha. Wow.
Because base is physical.
Yeah.
Playing base is physical.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. But I was a pitcher.
Wow. That's something, man.
If you wasn't ready, but I'd get you too,
really?
boy.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably played, we played 15 games a year, and great time, man.
Yeah.
That's my love.
Beautiful, man.
That's my love. Yeah,
How'd you get to D.C.?
Now, this is crazy. I was living in Boston, getting out of school and working.
You were in Boston?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you at in Boston?
When was I there?
I mean, you went to school in Boston?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
BU.
Okay.
MIT.
Okay.
I had a great time.
Now, you know what? You told me that Ellen Carter on PFW was at one of those schools you was at. What school was that?
That was Boston University.
She was at Boston with you?
And man, we had... after I got out of school, and where I was working and gigging every other night up there, I got a gig in Atlanta. And I was so glad. I was so ready to get out of Boston.
Gotcha.
Oh, man, them folk up there, boy. And it was too cold for me.
Yeah.
So I was on my way to Atlanta. I was going to go to school again.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a job as an economist.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a nephew. I have a nephew that lived here. So I had about 3 weeks time to kill. I'm going to go to D.C. and hang out.
Gotcha.
I came here and hung out and stayed with him. And I was at a party one night. I don't know how I got there. And I met this keyboard player, H.Q. Thompson. And he said to me, man, Wes, man, I want you. I'm auditioning for this play, and they looking for a bass player. I said, man, I'm just stopping over. He said, well, they give you something to do. And he said, come take the audition and just, see how you like it. Because I know you. And I said, okay. I went and took the audition. The next day, I got a call and said, you got the gig.
Wow.
The play was Black Orpheus.
Wow.
And
so you had to make a decision.
No, I didn't. For about 2 years, they were calling me from Atlanta. Say, are you still coming?
Wow. So that's what
kept me here.
And when was that?
76.
Wow. That's something, man.
And I just said, oh no, my love for music just.
Yeah. So when you got to DC, did you hang out and go check out the music scene and all that?
Eventually I did. Okay. I had a gig. See,
you had a day gig?
No, I had a gig.
Oh, you had that gig?
Gig.
Yeah.
So I was cool.
Yeah, gotcha.
And plus it was, we were going to different cities and stuff. And then when that ended, I came back to DC. My apartment was here. And I started going around, checking things out. And met this cat. Man, that was it, man.
Yeah.
Because I always tried to present myself as just a nice, easygoing, nice cat to play with.
Yeah, no doubt.
Didn't go in making no demands.
Yeah.
Shouting out, calling tunes.
Yeah.
And it worked well for me. And one contact led to another.
Yeah. So your name started getting around.
I wasn't Sugah then, though. I was still. I was still West Biles.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
And
what's up, man?
That's how it worked.
Wow. Now, when did you meet Bobby Felder?
Yeah. About 25 years ago. I have these crazy situations where I'm in Jock Johnson's band.
Saxophone.
Yeah. And I'm playing Jock Johnson's band for about 2 or 3 years. And I never really felt that comfortable in that band because he would do some antics that I didn't particularly care for. And one night, I said something to him like, man, I wish you wouldn't do that. What I said that for? I said, we got a good thing going there, but you ain't got. It was a little bit too stepping fetchage for me. I said, man, I just wish you wouldn't do that on stage. He said, okay, you ain't got to worry about it no more. Because I'm going to do what I do.
Wow.
And since you're not comfortable with it, I'll find me a bass player in the morning. Now, I don't think I ever been fired from a gig except the one in Nashville. And he said, nice playing with you, man.
Wow.
And I said, okay, because I was okay with that.
Yeah.
And you don't get to the next gig.
Yeah.
If this gig don't end.
That's right.
So David Cole, who was also in that band,
guitars,
was playing with Bobby. And David knew that I got fired from Jock's gig. And he said, I gave your name to this cat Bobby Felder. And I had heard of him, but I had never met him. Bobby called me, and they had a gig coming up that weekend. This was like on a Tuesday. This ship going out of New York of like a 5-day cruise, and it doesn't go. You just cruise. It doesn't go to any port. And he said, "Man, I need a bass player to do this gig, and I got a book. Can you read?" I said, "Yeah, I can read." He said, well, man, come on up here, just me and him. He went over some stuff. That's how I met Bobby.
Wow.
It was like I played with him for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months before I found out and he found out we both went to Fisk.
Wow.
25 years later, I'm still playing.
Yeah. And he has the big band.
He has the big band.
And
I used to play in his dance band.
Wow.
And
okay.
this is before, yeah. He had a dance band that was played all the sorority and fraternity gigs and all that. That was Bobby. He had that sewed up, man.
Yeah, when we in the rehearsals, because I played with the big band, you remind me of like the musical director. All right, Bobby. All right, we got it. But y'all got that kind of relationship.
Yeah. He trusts me.
Yeah. So
and he ain't gonna listen to too many people, but he will listen to me. And so I stay my grounds, but I do it very politely.
Yeah, no, it's
but that's Bobby.
Yeah,
that's Bobby. That's Bobby.
And how'd you meet Ronnie Wells and Ron Elliston?
Again, a good referral. See, this is what's good about our business. And sometimes you get some referrals that ain't so good.
Yeah.
But if you get them, then somebody likes what you're doing and want somebody else to like what you do.
Yeah.
So, Ronnie and Ron were operating this vocal jazz camp. And I didn't know about that at first. They needed a bass player for a gig and at Hilton Head.
Gotcha.
And they asked Keita Betts, man, who can I get to? So Keita said, I got this little young dude that I really like, you know, and try him out. Here's his number. Keita said, man, he was funny, man. He'd keep me in stitches.
Yeah.
But he really liked me. And I was in awe of all the things he had done. But he didn't put that out front.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that type of personality. Yeah. So he told Ronnie, she really took care of most of the business, try this little cat, West Biles out. And let me know if he works out. So Ronnie called me and told me they had this gig and they was really pressed for somebody. But can you read? And I said, yeah, I can read. But I mean, like, who are you? Yeah. See, I didn't grow up here. She had a name already, a big fox. Yeah. But I didn't. And she says, well, I do this now. And my husband is a keyboard player and arranger, and he writes all the charts. And ain't no use you wasting your time if you can't read.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'll give him my best. So they sent me, let me see, how did this go then? Because they mailed me. Email wasn't as big and all that stuff as it is. This shit 30 years ago, 35 years ago. They mailed me about 15 charts and said, take a look at them and let me know if it's okay. Now the gig was, we was leaving Friday, go to Hilton Head.
Wow.
Saturday, and this was on Tuesday.
Gotcha.
So the mail came, and I opened them up, and I looked at them, and I said, okay. He says, well, then this is another thing that Ron had written a note on there. Practice this at home, because when we get to the gig, practice time is over. He said, we're going to have one rehearsal. But that ain't for practice.
Yeah.
You practice at home.
Gotcha.
And I said, well, I like him. I like him. And so, it was good, but it was his arrangements of jazz tunes that I was familiar with, most of them. And they wrote up 4 or 5 CDs of their own stuff. There was a few originals on there. But they were covers of well-known jazz tunes. But they were his arrangements.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he slipped all kind of little wrinkles in there that you had to pay attention to.
Gotcha.
And I said, "Oh, I see what he did. I see what he doing." So we did the gig in Hilton and came back. And the next week, she called me back and said, "Ron, like you.
Wow.
You got a gig." And I was in that Phew,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. You did the East Coast Jazz Festival?
Yeah, man. That was, I did 14 years of East Coast.
Yeah.
And I've done all of Paul's cars.
Yeah.
So I became the resident
I was on the very first East Coast Jazz Festival.
Okay.
The very first.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear
so
you.
I think, and they got somebody showed me a flyer.
No kidding.
Yeah. One of the very first. Yeah.
Man, that was my jazz education.
Yeah.
Playing with them two.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, that was it. That was because he was strict, man, about
yeah.
this is what we doing.
I don't think I met him.
Well, he was.
I knew Ronnie.
He's a different egg, man.
Yeah,
He was a different egg.
Yeah.
But he was a excellent teacher. He's really had a great influence on my jazz knowledge.
Okay.
Because he was the kind of keyboard player that just didn't play and left you alone.
Yeah.
He played and make sure you was playing.
And then
right, you know.
Yeah. So when they passed.
Ronnie passed first.
Ronnie passed first. And
man, I used to live out there, man.
Yeah, that was your
that was my spot, man.
And then Paul and Carmen Carr took over. They took over and turned it into the Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival.
Yes. And I've done all of those years.
And
12
and you had
15
was that the midnight? They do the Midnight Jazz Festival. I mean the Midnight Jam session. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
And you ran.
I ran both of them.
Yeah.
For East Coast and.
You did that for the.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I was the first one that ran the jam session.
So how you learn all them tunes, man?
Man, see, this is I don't know, but what I do know is that, and it's just not when you do a jam session gig like that, and it's a lot of vocalists.
Yeah.
You may know Misty, but do you know it in F sharp?
Yeah.
Can you play it?
Yeah.
In D flat?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times these are novice, and they have, a multitude of different levels of talent that come to the jam. It's one of the most shows at the festival.
Yeah.
It's always packed with people.
Yeah.
And people wait all year to get their shot.
Yep.
To come because they want to. Like I said, people want to be. They vision themselves. Up there on that platform or stage with. And they practice all year, one song.
To get,
And the last thing you can do is have some cats. You got to pick cats that can play it on the spot.
And you have to control, if you're leading a jam session,
it's a disciplinary job, man.
You got to lay down the rules and the whole nine, right?
And somebody ain't going to like it. Somebody ain't going to think you being favored.
Yeah.
And that's just maybe another year or so. That's good because I've done it maybe 15 and almost 30 years.
Wow! And they used to cook.
That's my.
So they had a room.
That's right.
What room was that?
That was hospitality suite.
They had the hospitality suite.
I
and used to cook for the.
I did all the food.
Wow! Did you do that for the East Coast too?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow!
My mother was a caterer.
Oh wow!
And I got the gene.
Okay.
I got the gene.
Man, you go up there,
Yeah, I laid it. It was nice. And that worked me to death. That's why I had to let that go. That worked me to death, man. I met, because all of the artists on the show would come to the hospitality.
Yeah.
I sit down and talked one-on-one with everybody.
Yeah.
Carmen McRae.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, just Grover Washington. Just up there eating my chicken.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to talk to him.
Yeah. So you enjoy cooking as well?
Oh yeah. That's my passion, man.
Wow.
That's my passion.
And you said you like going fishing, and
man, I got to go fishing. If I don't go fishing, I ain't right. I love to fish. Man, to me and one of my sons went about 3 weeks ago. We went out on the bay, down Solomon's Island. Went out and caught about 50-something fish, man. I clean them myself and
really, wow,
pass them out to the family, and they eat them up like candy. But I love.
Is that a Southern thing with the cooking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
That somebody in the family is supposed to get the gene.
Yeah. Gotcha.
From one of them real cooks.
Yeah.
And I happen to get it.
Yeah.
And a couple of my sons cook very well too, man.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's a genetic thing.
Yeah. Man, you played with a lot of people.
Sometimes.
What was it like playing with Ike and Tina
I knew
Turner?
you was going to say that. It was a good gig.
Really?
And the thing I liked about it the most, because there was always some antics going on, but we didn't have to deal with him. He had a band leader.
Okay.
That you dealt with the band leader.
But you could see the dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But you stayed on your lane.
Yeah.
And it was a great gig. It taught me, I learned more about rhythm playing in that band and just the concept of rhythm and where a bass player needs to be.
Gotcha. Wow.
If you don't know where you need to be with that kind of band, you ain't the one.
Wow.
Now, he couldn't use Stanley Clarke. He couldn't use a Marcus Miller.
Yeah.
And so what do bass players do? You kind of build up a reputation of can you fit the style playing bass. Now, I'm marveled at how bass has progressed to being from a support instrument to a solo instrument. I remember when I first saw my first 5-string bass, I thought that was abomination. You done messed up the bass.
Yeah.
And the bass had a high C string, not a low B string. The first 5-string basses. And I said, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now they got 9-string basses. So is that a bass? That's the question. Well, to those that play that, but you're going to not play bass on that. You're going to play what that instrument was designed for you to play. And if you look at these wonderful basses now that are not only are the soloists of the group, they're the leaders and everybody playing with them. See, bass players, the bass player plays with you.
Yeah.
Now they play with the bass players.
Yeah. It's different.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Wow.
Big difference.
Did you get to record any of the major acts?
Yeah, I did just about everything, man.
Really?
I did just about everything. And studio studio used to scare me to death.
Really?
Because it was, it was, I thought it as being you have to be so perfect and you can't be nervous.
Yeah.
And it took me a while getting over that.
Gotcha.
Because I wanted to be
a
good bass player. That wasn't outside, but was...
Yeah. Laid it down.
Laid it down, man. Laid it down. And I left the thrills to other folk.
You work with Quincy Jones?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Wonderful.
Really?
Wonderful. He had a way with making you not worry about who he was, but what part you gonna play in what he had. See, now he wasn't on stage or in the studio playing his trumpet or he would play keyboard sometimes. He would play, and I did several things with him. And I was just so blessed to have that opportunity, man.
Yeah.
We even did, when he got his presidential award at the Kennedy Center, I was in that band.
Wow. Really?
I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Wow.
And James Ingram was singing. And man, I'm going like, you talking about the big stage.
Yeah.
And it just took me back to what Minnesota said. It ain't about the size stage you. Are you doing the job necessary?
Yeah. Wow, man.
That's it, man. And all that.
Aretha Franklin.
Man, she's a dream. I did Obama's inaugurations with her.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the band for that.
Man, so you made some money in this music, huh?
I ain't broke.
That's all good, man.
And as you and I were talking earlier, man, this is working. See, I ain't playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played when I was in the 5th and 6th. I was playing. I was playing an instrument. That ain't what I do now.
Yeah.
I'm working. And if you are proficient in what you do, you can get paid for it.
You get to eat. You get to eat.
You get to travel the world on their dime.
Mm-hmm.
I just came back from 33 days tour in Africa.
Really?
Starting in Dubai, ended up in Athens.
Wow.
Everything I ever dreamed to see.
You living your best life?
You can't. I don't think you can get no better. You can't get any better than this if your health is good. You cut down on the bad habits. See, bad habits change all this.
Yeah. Yep.
You can be a marvelous musician or artist, and you have let your health slip to bad habits.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you make. You ain't gonna enjoy it because you can't breathe good.
No doubt about it.
I'm serious. Yeah. So, and this is what I tell my students now. Where they are so concerned about, and they should be, about their abilities and their development. What I go mostly for with them is also work on your choices. See, you can make one bad choice in this business, never work again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You was having fun.
Yeah.
You was kicking it up.
Yeah. Wow. Speaking as an educator, you work with the Washington Jazz Arts Institute.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the Washington Jazz Arts Institute?
The Washington Jazz Arts Institute is an organization that promotes young, upcoming musicians from as young as 12 up to a couple of years in college, developing their jazz talents. This summer, and I've done this 23 years.
Wow.
Under the direction of Davy Yarbough, saxophone player, and Esther Williams, his wife. They run a jazz camp, and they hire about 10 professional instructors, teachers, and each one of us takes our area, bassist, guitarist, brass, even vocals. And it's been a 4 to 5 week camp for over 20 years, free of charge.
Wow.
And these students get a firsthand, every day, hands-on lessons in jazz, big band, and combo, and solo.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get there every just like I can't wait to get there every day. I can't wait for it to get over. Because it's a routine.
Yeah.
Of a day gig.
Yeah.
You know, I like you.
And you retired.
Man, I'm through. It's back to a routine of a day gig.
Yeah.
I get up every morning to do this, 6 o'clock at the latest, to be there. This class starts at 9. Camp starts at 9. And they sitting outside the door waiting for us to open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these kids can play, man. See, unlike when I grew up, I didn't have access to.
Oh yeah, and
Man, if they want
YouTube and the whole Google.
Not only that, even the printed material. You know, that stuff costs money. I didn't have money to buy.
Yeah. No doubt.
They can sit down and look at, just like I got caught not knowing Mingus.
Yeah.
They see images of all these great musicians that if you didn't buy an album, and back then a lot of jazz albums didn't have pictures of the artists on it.
Yeah.
They had a flower or some butter beans or something like that on it. So not only are they getting exposed to this music at their leisure. See, they don't have to be in class to get this. They can get a lesson riding on the bus.
Yeah, no doubt. Man, I saw this cat man giving a student a lesson from his phone.
That's right.
Yeah, man, it's wild, man.
It's amazing. It's
wow.
amazing.
I mean, like, he was on a gig.
Yeah.
I said, so he was giving it on the break. On the break, he giving somebody a half-hour lesson.
And see, now, this is the greatest reward of all. I'm actually playing gigs with a lot of these students.
Wow, yeah.
Just last week, I played a gig with a young drummer, got a full ride to Peabody, young keyboard player, got a full ride to Peabody. That when they first came into the camp in the 8th grade, the piano player, he was so shy he wouldn't even talk.
Wow.
And now he's got a full scholarship to Peabody.
Wow.
And can play with anybody.
Wow. Beautiful.
And these kids, man,
they're much more advanced.
Man, because they got much more to help them along.
Yeah. Now, do you think that is a hindrance in some other areas? Because you have access to all this, do they take a lot for granted?
Well, see, now you get...
Because, like, when I was coming up,
yeah,
we talked to the elders and got the stories. I find that these kids, they can play, they're great, but then, you remember you talking about that cultural thing?
Yes.
It's almost like they're disconnected.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But God bless them, some of them got me.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm bringing them right back down to earth.
Yeah, yeah.
As I told you, when we start our class, we don't start playing modes and etudes. We start out every class talking just like this.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
And I know them well enough to know who needs what and who don't need that, but need more of that.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And my name in the class is Uncle West.
Uncle West?
Uncle West. You say Uncle West, they'll jump out that window. And I like that. I got that name. I like that because it sets an atmosphere that's not just teacher.
Yeah.
I am Uncle West.
Yeah.
And I come after you too.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I will.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, don't watch your options. Yeah, you can play. Yeah, you can solo. Yeah, you got a brand new horn. But are you making good decisions on and off, out, in and out of music? Because one bad decision cuts it all out.
No doubt.
Cuts it all out. So your health, your personality, and your word needs as much work as your scales,
no doubt.
your licks, and your shining your horn.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, that's because I used to, man, I just like, coming up, I used to just ask a bunch of questions and I get the stuff it's like that's the stuff that
man, that's it.
Resonates with.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And when I send these kids out and they go to all these different schools or they go to all these different places, and I'll talk to one of the teachers or something, and they say, there's something different about this kid. He got some stableness about him that usually takes us 2 or 3 years to get them to. Gotcha. I said, man, look here. If you've been to Uncle West's training camp, we start out with that every day.
Beautiful. Yeah. And
it makes people. Well, what do you people? I get kind of crazy when people say, "Well, what can you pass on? What can you say to a new aspiring musician that'll propel him on along?" I said, "Man, you got to tell him the truth."
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you waste your time making bad mistakes. We ain't got to talk about an A-flat minor scale. I know you're going to get that.
Yeah. There's a lot of distractions out there, too.
And see, man, who's helping them with that part of it?
Yeah.
Who's giving them not just advice, but they got to see it in you. They see it in me.
Yeah. No doubt.
And that's what I stress. So they can get to the other part that they trying to get to.
You ever do you have ever done a CD of your own just with your name? Nope. You never wanted to do that?
Not really.
Really?
And the reason I've never really wanted. I enjoy my role too much.
Gotcha.
See, I might get in there in that position, and I lose my whole thing because I'm strong in my role.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't have to. My satisfaction comes from what I do and the way I do. Yeah. And there are other cats who need something else. Yeah, I need more of what I do.
No doubt. And you've been awarded for it because you got you got a leadership and service award.
Then they had to give it to somebody.
Outstanding legendary musician award.
I'm real proud of it.
Man.
I'm real proud of it.
Yeah, that's to be recognized.
It is
on this side of the ground.
That's right. Yeah. That's right, man. While I can enjoy it.
Yeah. Beautiful, man. I got some final questions.
Okay.
I remember you tell me a story. You raised 5 boys as a single father.
Yep.
Now, how you do that, man? And you ain't gotta go. I know what needs.
Raising one, is a challenge.
Mm. And you was a single father?
Yeah, I was single dad.
Wow.
And I loved it.
Okay.
I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
I really do, because it prepared me for understanding what is important.
Mm. Yeah.
And was I able to gig? Not as much, but yes. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't wait for the gig to end so I could get home.
Yeah.
But I had kids in different age groups and good kids. And just being the principal. Yeah, man, they all did great. All went to college. I sent everywhere. They went everywhere. Howard, Hampton, Wilberforce, University of Maine, New York, Manhattan School. They went everywhere. Good kids.
So you get a Father's Day. They hooked you up on Father's. You get some love.
See, this is now. I told them to cut that socks and ties stuff out. And that's enough of that. All right, give me a gift certificate so I go get me some fishing equipment. I don't want no more socks, ties.
Yeah,
no socks. Yeah, hey, man, we just had a good time. Man. Yeah, we had a good time.
They had 5 boys.
Man, it's it's a blessing.
Are they close?
Yes. I have 2 boys, 5 years apart, born on the same day, January 19th. I don't know how I did that.
Wow.
But,
wow.
And they call themselves twins. They refer to themselves as twins.
Any grandkids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just talked to 2 of them yesterday. I got 6.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 of them, it's good, man. It's good to have gotten to this point. And with all the things that there are to be concerned about, particularly with safety and economics and parenting, it's worked very well for me. But having had that opportunity to be a principal parent, settled me right down.
Yeah.
I was already pretty good.
Yeah. But,
man, I never did I wake up saying, "Oh Lord, great, why you do this?" I thanked him every day.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think I made it pretty good.
You sleep good at night too.
Every night, and I ain't hungry.
Man,
I ain't hungry, man.
So what's next? What's next for Wes Biles?
Man, you know something? I have gotten into traveling and seeing how other people are in different places of the world, and not just being there as a tourist, but being in these different places, really paying attention how other people live. Because you can go somewhere like Dubai or Namibia, and eat the good food and go to the night spot and never pay attention to the people that live there. I just have the greatest enjoyment out of just seeing people I've never seen before in my life, I'll never see again, and just seeing how their culture, what kind of cultures they connected to. Because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
And you can go to these different places and miss that because you want to see the beach. You know,
Yeah.
you want to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
What about the people
Yeah.
that are there? You can, if you pay attention, you can see their struggles and their likes and their connections to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised how America ain't all of that.
Mm-hmm.
When you experience what all of that is for people of other cultures.
Mm-hmm. But you know that thing that's similar that is this thing you got in the South called culture.
That's right.
And that connection.
Man,
that's it.
It's
right
it.
there.
It's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's
It's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And no matter what profession you have,
Mm-hmm.
if you leave this out, I don't think your life is going to be as rewarding.
Yeah.
If you abandon, now you might have to start your own culture because you haven't had one.
Yeah.
To identify with. Luckily, I did.
Yeah. So we were talking about retirement before we start rolling. You said some important stuff about how you enjoying retirement.
Well, I'm enjoying not routinely working every day.
Gotcha.
Retirement can be misunderstood.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
It can be misunderstood because what does it mean? It means to some people you stop doing something.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
I look at retirement as you start doing something.
Gotcha.
This is where you start doing something.
Yeah.
It's not that you have more time. You're just not using your time for the same routine every day. Now, if you don't have something to do, then you are retired.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you don't, I don't mean something trivial.
Yeah.
Something that you love.
Yeah.
See, I can't sleep long knowing I'm going to work to play a gig.
Yeah.
I don't jump up 10 minutes for a gig, running out. Man, I'm thinking about it. I'm excited to do it.
Wow.
And not every gig's a good gig. You have to play some bad gigs. You have to work some bad gigs.
Yeah.
So you know what a good one is like.
No doubt.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Wow.
And now that I have not a different approach, I have a different mindset because my time is different.
Mm-hmm.
I can approach this with a lot more enjoyment.
Wow.
But retire, man, they're gonna have to put the bass in the coffin with me. Because I've gotten to this point, and I tried to prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I was working every day, I didn't think about preparation for that day every day.
Mm-hmm.
But when closer getting to this age, I done thought about how to do this. And you can do it and suffer because things change.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, your money changes, your energy changes, your whole route, your dress changes. I don't even dress.
Yeah.
I don't have to dress like that every day.
Yeah.
I dress like I want to dress to fit what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is can people that don't get to that point of knowing they got choices to do, not quit, but to start. Why go through this sitting up in a easy chair all day long, can't sleep, because you ain't done nothing.
Yeah. So you enjoying life at this point?
Man, I think it's not only good for me, it's good to me.
Yes.
It's good to me.
No doubt.
Because I try to take some of the worries. You got to prepare for this now. This ain't nobody will give you nothing.
Yeah.
You try to prepare for it, so you start thinking about it before this comes. And thinking about it ain't enough. You do something about it.
Gotcha.
I don't care if it's saving $10 a week.
Yeah.
You do something.
Yeah. No doubt.
You do something.
Yeah. One more question.
What you got?
How can people contact you if they want to give you a gig? You can talk to the camera.
Man, I tell you what.
Where can they find you, man? You ain't got to go out your number if you want, but
I'm at my email number. I'm here in Washington, D.C. My email address is SugahBass05. That's SUGAHBASS, the number 05. That was my line number in the fraternity. Okay. At gmail.com. And West Biles, I'm here, man. So
yeah.
And I definitely have a few more rounds I'm gonna do before I remember Keita said something to me once, and he said to me, Keita Betts said to me once, Wes, how long you gonna play? I said, well, I stopped playing back in junior high school. He said, oh yeah, I know what you gonna say. How long you gonna work? I said, as long as it's as good as it is to me now. And I don't think I have to limit what it will be. Physically, the bass is a very demanding, and just carrying the damn thing around done wore me down. Yeah. But I do it now more eagerly than I did when I was much younger.
Wow. Beautiful.
And I got some apparatus I can roll it wherever I want to go. I was too dumb to do that when I was young.
You know, it's crazy because you be on gigs where you playing acoustic
so I never had a car that I bought a vehicle for me. I have to buy a vehicle to fit my basses. The last vehicle I bought, the last two, I took my car to the dealer with my basses to see if we had a marriage. Yeah. Damn the color. I don't care about the color. Can my basses get in there safely?
Wow. And the amp.
And the amps. And so it's been good, man. Beautiful. It's been good. I got into this
Uncle
point.
Wes, man, thank you, man. This has been great, man. I knew you was a great storyteller.
Man.
I knew this was going to be easy.
Well, man, I enjoy it.
And, man, this is it's an honor, you know. And I think it's important for people to know the story.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
A lot of cats, man, they got all this information
and it never gets in there.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be able to have a platform where you can.
Man, I appreciate you so much, man. This is equivalent to doing 10 CDs. You know, this is my man. You asked me that I have done one on my own. This is better than doing it.
Oh man!
Because now look at what can happen with these kind of discussions with different artists. And if they're not done, we gone.
Yeah.
And it's lost.
No doubt.
It's lost.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's lost.
Yeah, my man. Well, thank you.
Man, thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing it, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, brother.
All right, y'all. There it is. The wonderful bassist, educator, Uncle Wes Sugah Biles. Right here on The Conversation in Jazz. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.